Well, good evening, Octane Infinity. It is Tuesday evening, October the 26th, 2010. This is the first day of the NBA action. You're watching the Daily Hoosier Daddy exclusively on Octane Infinity TV at YouTube.com. Without any further ado, let's go straight into the action and discuss what has happened tonight with the fantasy teams. Let's start first with the matchup between the Landlord and I'm Awesome, I'm the Miz. I'm Awesome, I'm the Miz. I'm going to call him the Miz for short because that is Evan's team, the new GM. I do say new. He did participate last year with the Cobra Kai, but now has branched on his own and has his own team. He goes up against Scott this week, and tonight Evans, the Miz team, had two players in action, so he did have a little advantage by the numbers that Scott only had one player. Um, well, I should use that a little loosely. That one player that Scott had was LeBron James in the uh, very first matchup of the evening between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. Let's see where we are in the standings between Scott and Evan. Right now, it looks like Scott, with LeBron James, has the lead 5-3 right now, leading in both shooting. All three shooting categories, actually, if you consider the 3 points, 3 pointers made. He also leads in scoring and block shots as well, with Evan taking the leads in assists, steals, and having fewer turnovers, with Andre Miller and Rudy Fernandez, his Blazers, tonight. So moving into Wednesday, Scott will take a 5-3 advantage. They do have a tie in rebounds. Next up is Kenny Powers versus Jobbers. Kenny Powers, the fantasy team owned by Chris. He has said goodbye to the name Taco Del Myra Mar. Adam, the reigning champion, with his Jobbers tonight, had four players in action in the three games on the NBA schedule tonight, with Dwayne Wade and Kevin Garnett in the first game between Boston and Miami, uh, and with Chris's Kenny Powers teams, he actually had five guys eligible to play, minus one Andrew Bynum, who is still on the shelf with an injury. So it was a 4-on-4 tonight, and let's see how the numbers have stacked up for both teams. It looks like Chris has come out strong. He has a 6-2 advantage over Adam right now, leading in all three shooting categories as well as scoring. And in addition, he has a 2 assist advantage over Adam, as well as fewer turnovers. And I'll tell you, it was a bad ball handling night for the Miami Heat, and I think it was largely in part to Dwayne Wade. So that kind of hurt Adam there. Actually, I should have mentioned that in the update with Scott and Evan, because LeBron James had 8 turnovers as well. Um, there is a tie in between Chris and Adam in the steals department. They're both tied at 6, and Adam currently leads in two categories: one rebound edge, as well as 4-0 in block shots. Again, Chris moves into Wednesday with a 6-2 advantage. The next matchup is Ripcord versus Cobra Kai Never Die. And it's the battle of the mics. Good Mike versus Evil Mike. Evil Mike, as you know, was the runner-up to last season's championship, and he came along very, very strong. Well, how strong is he going to start this season? Day one of the NBA, he had no players in action, so it really gives Mike a good Mike and an easy start as he leads this matchup 9-0. So this actually kind of gets me thinking. Now I'm looking at the scoreboard. He has he being good Mike of Ripcord, has 19 turnovers, and of course Evil Mike with no players in action and has 0. But Yahoo has given the nod in turnovers to Ripcord, which means you will definitely need to play your players to be eligible to win any of the 9 categories. So keep that in mind, GMs, as the season moves along. So how did Good Mike do with Ripcord? Pretty fair shooting night, 42% from the field, 78 from the foul line, and he did get 2 3-pointers from Steve Nash in that run and gun game the Phoenix Suns had at Portland tonight. So I believe both players or both GMs will have full rosters on the schedule for Wednesday night, so we should get a more accurate reading on how competitive this matchup will be tomorrow. Now, um, Mike has renamed his team to Ripcord. Edwin, on the other hand, has decided to rename his team Twisted Ripcord. And this week he faces Renee and his Hoop Kings. Twisted Ripcord had one player in action. Edwin had the newly acquired Brandon Roy for the Blazers playing against Phoenix. Pretty well-rounded game. He was perfect from the foul line, 45% from the field, and hit 4 3-pointers en route to 24 points. He also dished out 6 assists, giving him the edge over Renee in that category. And as for Renee and his Hoop Kings, he had 3 players in action. Ray Allen and Chris Bosh in the first game, both very fairly steady. I think Chris Bosh was a little subpar tonight, and yeah, just kind of watching that Miami Boston game was just a little uncomfortable for me. You had so much excitement, so much hype going on with the Heat, and they end up scoring 9 points collectively for their first quarter alone. Not a good way to start that era of the Big Three for the Heat. However, I will mention that Bosh did finish the game with 8 points and 8 rebounds, and did get a block shot in the losing effort, but he shot 27% from the field, and that is hurt him a little bit. Renee still does have the lead in that category, however. Now, I mentioned Roy getting 4 3-pointers. Well, Renee does have Ray Allen. He hit 5 tonight en route to 20 points. Good shooting night for him, 54%, perfect from the foul line. And then also I want to mention Jason Richardson of the Phoenix Suns, which I think was a good pickup for him. Almost 70% from the field, 3 3-pointers, 22 points, 6 rebounds. Very good numbers for a shooting guard. Renee actually leads after the first night, just a small lead, if you would. It's 5-4, and Renee has leads in field goal percentage, threes, points, and rebounds. Should be an interesting matchup going down to the wire on Sunday, which is what I expect. Now, the last matchup has Jonas's team, That's What She Said, facing my team, the Mom Squad. And after the first night, we have a tie in assists. All the assists that Jonas got came from Kobe Bryant with his 7 dimes, and my team collectively had 7 from the 4 players I had in action. All bigs with the exception of Kevin Martin. Speaking of Martin, nice game for him against the Lakers tonight. 26 points. He gave me 3 threes. Jonas's team didn't hit any threes at all, so I lead in that category. Robin Lopez, certainly not a guy you expect shooting threes, so it was all Kobe, and Kobe really, I don't remember seeing him shoot too many threes, so kind of explains why he didn't make a single 3 tonight. Now, I lead this matchup after the first night 6-2. Again, we have a tie in assists, but I lead in field goal percentage by 5%. I lead by 5 threes, over 20 points, and certainly have a comfortable lead now in rebounds, 27-10, and very narrow margins. I lead in steals and blocks. So Jonas could certainly make some noise tomorrow. So again, like most of the matchups, we'll probably get an accurate reading of how competitive they will be after tomorrow night, which we do expect quite a few games on the schedule. Well, that will be it for now. I am going to sign off, but I'll probably do some more homework as we try to analyze each of the 10 teams that we have for this season in the Hoosier Daddy JV Fantasy Basketball League, the last year of the Keeper League. So you'll see more from me here on YouTube, and for now, this is Saigon John, the bomb from Vietnam, and boom goes the dynamite.